Hello everyone and welcome to the barren desolation that is the Slag Pits. My name is Osborne and I will be bringing you this ZVP versus BlueDragon and Willow. This map has been around for a while. Its main features are this Zelnaga tower right in the middle. I'm not sure if it'll have too much impact on this game because they are spawning at the 9 and 6 o'clock position, which is fairly close and does not require any cross-position ventures across the map. The other two things that you have to worry about this map are these two golden expansions right at the 5:30 and I guess would be 10:30 if you were looking at a clock. And the other main feature is these two destructible debris that you can just use to get right into the opponent's natural. It works both ways though. It also is on the top of this one, so just keep that in mind because it might come in handy if you ever want to surprise your enemy, especially Zerg players, because you can get those Zerglings out really quick and just take out these destructible rocks. All of a sudden there's Zerg in their base and they don't know what the hell to do about it. Scouting probes coming out. No gas for either player right now, so no early roaches for the Zerg player, I don't believe. Gonna come down to a 15 hatch perhaps? Fast expansion with a close thing is a close spawn. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say thing. A close spawn might not be the best idea, especially since there's a probe in the natural. It's not doing anything. It might just be looking for the natural timing, or it could be setting up for a cheese like a cannon rush or a proxy gateway. Only time will tell, folks. Only time. In the meantime, we've got a little boxing match between the drones and this lone probe. I actually believe that there was a lost probe because I think those two drones took one out. Let's find out. Yes, they did. They took out a probe. And this forge is coming down, which can only mean that they are going to go heavy cannons early on in this game. Because there is no army to speak of. And there's the pylon. Pretty far away for a pylon, though. If they want to do a cannon rush, you would think that he would move up into his base. This is going to make things very difficult for Willow when he's trying to make a good cannon rush, but it's going to be scouted right away by these two drones, and they're going to do a 180 and just make sure that nothing gets done. They're going to take out that probe, make sure it can't do anything else. Gonna get trapped. Gonna go... Oh no, it gets away! Oh man. But not for very long. Okay, there it goes. And there goes down the pylon. Failed cannon rush. Just way too late with the cannon rush. Didn't make that decisive move to go to forge right away. And it cost him. If either one of those went down, it might have made the difference. Some big minerals coming up for BlueDragon at the moment. See what he's making with it. Just some Zerglings at the moment. 3 photon cannons coming up and a probe coming up for Willow. He really likes those photon cannons. He's going to try and make those probes wall off so that those photon cannons can finish. And it looks like it's going to work because he'll lose the probes, but those photon cannons will go down, and I don't think he's going to lose any of them to this Zergling. I want to say rush, but in the meantime, this little drone's going to go over and hide. That can only mean that there's no way he's going to get out, so he's going to go plop down a proxy hatchery. Yo, dog, I heard you like cheese, so we put cheese in your base while you're cheesing, so I can cheese your base while you're cheesing. I have no idea why I just said that. It sounded good in my head, and I'm not sure it sounded so good. In the meantime, these probes are just going to come and zap this hatchery, but he pulled all of his probes, and that's not good. Gonna cancel it, gonna redo it, gonna attack again. Oh, but he's gonna bring all but 2 of those probes away. All but 1 of those probes actually gonna try and build some more cannons right here, I believe. Smartest idea he's had this game, I believe, because, you know, having all of your workers not mining, that's never a good thing. In come these little Zerglings. They're going to try and take out that pylon, but there's not enough surface area. He's wedged that pylon right in between 3 of those photon cannons and the forge, so that's going to be cleaned up fairly easily. Photon cannon, coming up to take care of that hatchery. And no chronos out. Still making probes, but he's not chrono boosting his nexus or anything else for that matter. Meanwhile, back at BlueDragon's base, he is spawning a whole bunch of Zerglings again. I'm not sure how wise this is because those Zerglings are just gonna run in and get creamed by those photon cannons because they don't have much health to speak of. Just 35, so easily two-shotting those Zerglings. And this hatchery is just getting pummeled by this photon cannon, but he is determined to get it up, and there it is. And he's got a proxy hatchery. I'm not sure what he plans to do with it. Probably make some Zerglings harass him a bit. Make sure he doesn't get any kind of actual economy going. Speaking of economy, let's check the worker count. Willow is actually in the lead right now. That's surprising. After a cheese, even with BlueDragon cheesing him back, you would think that the Zerg would be above in the worker count, but apparently not. Doing a good job of getting out those probes. He is actually in the lead right now. Mineral count almost double at the moment, but that's only because he's not mining with any of his probes. Willow, you can't keep pulling your probes, buddy. You're gonna lose the game. Another probe in the natural of BlueDragon. I can only imagine he's going to try once again to cheese him with those cannons. I don't think it's a cheese anymore because it's about 8.5 minutes in the game, and BlueDragon has quite enough army to take care of any kind of silly photon cannon contain that he might try. In the meantime, though, we got some Zerglings in there. Broodlings take out the photon cannon that was attacking the hatchery, but the hatchery does go down. Loses another probe completely unnecessarily, and they're going to go after this. Oh, they're going to get gang stomped by that probe. Loses another probe, though, so... I mean, and these probes, once again, are not mining. That's just... You can have as many probes as you want. If they're not mining, they're not doing you any good. He needs to have anything. Just make a zealot, make a stalker, do something. Just plant a stalker right in the middle of the cannons. Just, you can't let the opponent just keep you from mining. You can't do it. Speaking of mining, nothing going on with this simulator. He just built this just for the heck of it, it seems. 3 on this one, but he's going heavy minerals, so he just might think like, oh, I'm just gonna build a bunch of friggin' photon cannons. I don't even care. And there comes a photon cannon coming down right at the edge of the ramp. But these Zerglings are gonna see it do a 180 and just take it out. Oh, and look at this. These cheerleaders, Zerglings running around cheering on their teammates. Yeah, get it. Yeah, kill it. Yeah, explosion. Gotta love it. Checking to see if there's any other pylons or photon cannons. There is not, so he is going to stream into the base and try his best to do as much damage as possible. But he gets blocked, and he's not doing any damage whatsoever. He's still blocked, though. He still has 5 blocked, and he's going to not do any damage whatsoever to these cannons. They're going to survive. There's no way they're going to get either of them. All the probes get pulled again, though. No minerals coming in for Willow. Those photon cannons have probably like 10 health each. 14-14, and it was close, but he didn't do any real lasting damage. I mean, he took out 140 health of him permanently, but that's rough to lose that many Zerglings, and I think in response he's plopping down a Roach Warren. That's exactly what he's doing. It's a very smart move by BlueDragon, transitioning maybe a wave too late, but honestly, Willow doesn't have anything to respond to them. So he might just be in a good position. Willow once again putting a proxy pylon down in the natural of BlueDragon. How many warp gates does he have? He doesn't have any warp gates. He has warp gate tech though, I believe. Yeah, he's just completely forgoing any army and just saying, hey, I don't even need an army. Photon cannons, bro. Photon cannons. Speaking of which, here they come. Oh man, this isn't going to work. There's no way this is going to work. 9 roaches coming out? That's going to be more than enough to clean up any amount of photon cannons that he can muster in the time it takes for him to get these. And there comes the natural. 13 minutes into the game, the Zerg is expanding. Probably the latest expansion I've ever seen, especially on... While they are on a close spawn, it is a pretty large map. Naturals are close to each other, but, you know... If you're Zerg, you want to get those expansions. If not in the natural, at least, like, go get the gold one. Go get this one over here. I mean, he knows there's nothing over here. I don't know. I don't play Zerg. I play Terran. I don't know what I'm talking about. Expect a complete lack of expertise and knowledge on both of these races. Besides, you know, the fact that I know what they do. Like, I know what a roach is. That's a roach right there. See that roach butt? There it is. Zerglings also, but I think the Zerglings are going to get taken out by these photon cannons, just cannon fodder for the these roaches will come up right behind them and take out everything. Going to lose all the Zerglings, but honestly at this point Zerglings don't serve much of a purpose. Oh, almost one-shotting these photon cannons. Two-shot, bam. And the probe runs away. Wisest decision of that probe's artificial life. Gonna retreat back to the base. The safety of the creep. Has that natural up and running. Not quite saturated yet. I believe he's making a bunch of drones. Yep. 11 drones gonna come out and saturate that natural. No queen in production yet, though. Should probably have a queen coming out pretty soon. Glial reconstruction not coming up. Doesn't have layer quite yet. Thinking he's gonna do that pretty soon because he'll want that roach speed if he doesn't have that highway of creep to his opponent's base, which he is also working on. So, I mean, Glial reconstitution plus a creep highway, he's just gonna have mass amounts of roaches right up in his base whenever he wants to, basically. Speaking of bases, a ninja expansion coming up for Willow. Gonna come up with the other main base in the 3 o'clock position, away from the prying eyes of this overseer. But that's a really late expansion, and he might be almost out of minerals. Let's see what these minerals are at. 500, 450, 690. Well, he's got quite a bit of time actually, but he should probably think about expanding maybe to the gold, maybe over here to the natural of his ninja expansion. 2 base Protoss is definitely a viable option, but he won't have this base very long. So maybe putting up a Nexus might not be such a bad idea, but he's putting all of his minerals into what seems like all of them into photon cannons. Finally getting some Stalkers, has about 6 of them on the field now, getting up 2 more gateways, going to turn those into warp gates as soon as possible. No Chronos though. He really needs to get some Zealots for those roaches, because Stalkers versus roaches, Stalkers will win, but that's a lot of roaches. That's a critical mass of roaches, and that's not going to stand up. This little force, even with the photon cannons and the sentries, won't stand up for very long. No probes over in the ninja expansion yet. I almost say natural. It's not the natural, it is an expansion. Second base, making a whole bunch of photon cannons for I can't imagine any good reason, because they are completely useless against all those roaches, and he knows that he has roaches because he saw them take him out. He saw the roaches take out those photon cannons, that is. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Willow's plan is. I think he's just going to try and turtle up. Maybe go into DTs, go into Void Rays. DTs can be pretty well countered right now because all he has to do is make an Overseer, which he is well within his power to do so. Only 4 gateways as well, and I'm not sure how much minerals he's getting. He's getting a decent amount of minerals, 1,000 a minute, as you can see. BlueDragon, though, getting a lot of gas, and I don't know what Willow seems to be doing with all these minerals, besides obviously making a bunch of photon cannons, but even then, how are you going to get that much photon cannons? He's walling off his ninja expansion, which is kind of strange, honestly. I believe he's going to try and just spam photon cannons all over the place. And that's a lot of roaches. That is a critical mass of roaches that will completely and utterly curb stomp any force that it wants, because it's not going to attack though yet, apparently. Not going into the main. Going to look for some expansions, I believe. Checking that gold. Nope, nothing at the gold, boss. Gonna go over to that ninja expansion, but it's walled off, so he won't see it. He'll have to go into this, but he knows it's there now. Like, oh man, I didn't want them to go there. I wanted to go up. That means there's no way to go up. We're gonna go over here and wreck some stuff. Oh, that's a lot of photon cannons, but that is a lot more roaches. Good micro by BlueDragon to make sure that he gets absolutely as much roaches done in there attacking as he possibly can. Photon cannons going up and down with all those pylons gumming up and coming down and just